comes on. Gene Boyd was the receiver on the greatest pass ever thrown in Arizona State history. You love that, don't you, Gene?
The greatest pass ever thrown and never to count.
Yeah.
Got called back due to penalty. Fake punt against the folks down south in 1991. 91-yard fake punt. And, yeah, got called back due to a guy being downfield. So.
Yeah, well, you know what? It was that close to counting in the record books. Hey, this is, I said at the beginning today, this is an event where all the great things about this university come together. The resources, the athletic facilities, and especially the academics. And I know for you, Philip, and for you, Gene, this is as important a day as it is for the coaches, because what these student athletes are saying is, I want to be a part of this university.
No doubt about it, and it's really a comprehensive life experience. So often people overinvest in the football part of signing day, the football part of the college football experience. But really and truly, we know that statistics tell us that very few of these guys are going to play any kind of lengthy NFL career. Mm-hmm. There's very few Derek Hagans, you know, who get 10 years in. So this is really intended to be a differentiator in life quality, a differentiator in the competitive element of life. And so we're celebrating that today as well, because when these young men visit us, we spend time explaining to them how exactly that plays out in their 4 years or 2 years or whatever amount of time period here, if they're a community college transfer, whatever the case is. But this is a celebration of them embarking on something that will lead towards a championship life. So it's extremely exciting in that regard as well.
And I mentioned, Derek, you have Gene on each week on the Tailgate Show, and there's always so many great stories that the both of you talk about with each other about the success academically.
Yeah, Gene always had a great story. We always talked about certain players, whether it was JoJo Wickard, Tayshawn Smallwood, you know, Manny Wilkins. It was just always somebody that we highlighted that's doing great things, not only in the classroom but off the field as well. So, you know, Gene, just thinking back to our radio shows and you know, knowing we had a lot of fun on the show, but you know, just what was like the most fun that you had just talking about a guy, because there's so many guys we touched on.
Yeah, well, we tend to get fixated on the number on the jersey. Mm-hmm. You know, we get fixated on the guy on the field, and you know, we spend a lot of time thinking about who that person is underneath the shell of a helmet, right, and underneath the pads and all. I mean, these are young men who are intelligent, they're talented, they're multitaskers, they're hard workers, they're resilient people. They're the kind of people that anyone out there watching will want to hire in their business. And so being able to share stories about their life history, how they got here, what challenges they overcame to get to Arizona State University and beyond, that's extremely gratifying and extremely fun. So, you know, there's too many to recount, but over the past, I think, 3 years, we've talked about 40 guys off the field, out of the uniform, who they are, what they bring to society, how they're impacting change in our world beyond just playing football. Mm-hmm.
Philip, as I mentioned earlier, a day like today, or the recruiting process, is the opportunity for the university to express its message as much as the football program. And with all the good news coming out academically, the graduation success rate, the value now of an Arizona State degree has never been better than it is right now. This is a big day academically, because this is, as I said, this is a day where you find out it's rewarding to you to hear student athletes say, I want to get my degree at Arizona State.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, the opportunity to help recruiting, not only just for football, but with all of our athletics here at ASU, I have the opportunity to speak with the students as well as their families. And when I talk to their parents and really understand that their drive goes beyond just playing on the field, but really in having successes in life. And the opportunities to work with Gene and his staff here and really helping students to be able to fulfill not only their on-the-field aspirations, but also their academics has been tremendous. And, you know, we have seen just a tremendous change in our student-athletes' mindset towards academics. I think since Coach Graham came in and flipped the practice schedule to the morning, we've really seen some huge impact for our student-athletes and our football players, really being able to engage in the academics in a very purposeful manner. So it's an incredible day across the board, and certainly it's wonderful to know that we're bringing on some young gentlemen that we can help academically and advance their careers, you know, universally as well as on the field.
And I would think that, and either you or Gene can answer this, that when a coach visits a player, normally a player is going to ask questions about offense, defense, where do I fit in on special teams. But I get the sense, too, that student athletes more and more are asking questions about what's offered to me at Arizona State. What about this college, that college? They want to know as many things about the campus, campus life, academics, as they do about athletics.
Yeah, certainly so. I think, with the complexity of academics and the opportunities we have at Arizona State, we have over 300 majors that these student athletes can choose from. And so they come in with a lot of questions, and we work with them kind of from a backwards forward position, and what are their goals? What do they want to do? I was working with a couple of students just a couple of weeks ago who have aspirations to take your jobs. They want to go into broadcast journalism in the long run.
Not yet, not yet.
And so, we talked about what academic opportunities they could have here on campus, what they could think about majoring in, what they could do in their elective time to really enhance the ability to end up being successful off the field. And so these are impossible times to navigate without good coaching. And by that, I mean both in terms of academics, but also in terms of athletics. And so having good people and good support around you, as these student athletes know, helps no matter what.
And Derek, you benefited from that, I know, and we've talked about that in the past.
Yeah, you want to have that great support system behind you. I just knowing Gene, for the past 15 years, a long time since I was a freshman recruit. I came in early, got started early in 2002. I came in, they had a summer program, and I got started very early as far as the academics is concerned. It was just, I wanted to get in, I wanted to get acclimated, and I wanted to be around the team and the guys and really see what this university had to offer. And it started off early with this man, and he's been doing a fantastic job for a long, long time, long before I got here. So, and it's just continually is getting better each and every year.
Gene, in closing, now you have a new group of recruits come in, and we're talking about football today, but this is applicable to any of the sports that are offered at Arizona State. Certainly. Now the process begins for you and for Philip of getting those student athletes acclimated, settled into the university life.
Yeah, and there's been some discussion about the profile academically of this class being above 3.0 across the board, et cetera. So sometimes student athletes have some work to do to get to the institution still, right? They have to, of course, graduate, but also may need to close the gap in terms of their grade point average and their test score. So if that's needed, we counsel them, of course, in terms of how to make sure they're prepared and ready to go when the time comes. And then the campus has an orientation program by college that they participate in prior to showing up. And then when they get here, they usually get here early to mid-June. And, unlike some people's experience coming out of high school when you don't show up to college until August or September, right? Mm-hmm. Derek mentioned it. We have a bridge program where they're bridging from high school to college, and we're working on making sure that in that time period, we're teaching them how to be a good multitasker, teaching them how to use good study strategies. More important, or equally as important, teaching them how to make great decisions. Right. The things that they will be associated with. There's a social life and all these types of things. Making good decisions are critical, just as critical as studying for an exam and so forth. So we're teaching them these things about relationships and communication and how you represent yourself, what your identity is. A really aggressive program to teach them those things so that they ramp up and transition into day one of school, where they're balancing football as a full-time football student athlete, who many of them will play right away, but also balancing the student part of that, and quite frankly, the human part of that, where they have social time, where they do community service and all these types of things. Mm-hmm. So we're teaching them all these things in the summer intensively so that they're ready to launch, if you will, into an incredible experience while they're here.
Well, as I said, this is as much a day of success for the two of you as it has been for the coaches, and so we congratulate both of you because we know you put in a tremendous effort to get us to this day. Philip, congratulations. Thank you. Gene, good to see you. Start thinking of whatever stories you're going to share with Derek next year. You got to get to work on that.
We always got them in.
If you can't be there one day, let me know.